Hello, all you awesome people out there. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, as always, Geek Viz Hoove, and we have yet another brand new edition of I Just Watched for our Oscars March as we continue to the end. We are almost done. We have our penultimate movie, our second to last movie here. As today we are going to be talking about Hamnet, which I just watched. If you don't know, if this is the first video of the Oscars March you're watching, then Oscars March is me watching all of the nominees for Best Picture of this year's Oscars before the ceremony takes place. The ceremony actually takes place this Sunday, March 15th. So I've been catching up on all of the Best Picture nominations to kind of, to just inform myself so I can make a more informed opinion on what I think about what should win, what I choose, but my choice would be to win and all that nature. Something I think a lot of people, especially mostly in the gaming in the gaming space, can take a little pace to do a little bit. But anyway, yeah. So I watch all the Best Picture nominations. I've watched damn near everyone so far. As I mentioned, we only have two left, and that was Hamnet here, and then we also have Marty Supreme, which is going to be our last movie, and that is going to be up probably on Saturday. Actually, it has to be Saturday because I want to get this up before the Oscars. Come on. Yeah, my week is weird. Due to my work week starts on Tuesday, so the middle of the week will feel like the start of the week for me, for my regular 9 to 5. So I just noticed, I'm like, oh shit, today is Wednesday, the March 11th. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta record this today so it can at least be up by Thursday, and that's gonna be by the end of the week. So I need to, get that done so I can get Marty Supreme, so I can watch and write and record that, so I can have that done before Sunday pops up. So yeah, so today we're gonna talk about Hamnet. If you haven't already, check out some of the other stuff I got. Like I mentioned, every Oscar nomination, Train Dreams, Begonia, F1, Sinners, One Battle After Another. I've watched all of them. The Secret Agent got blocked, and I still have yet to re-upload that, so I still gotta do that. So yeah, I edit that and then we'll re-upload that. But yeah, so we're gonna be talking about Hamnet today. So if you don't know, all of my I just watched, I kind of go over general overview of the movie. Then I'll talk about the story and the plot. And then what I liked, what I didn't like, any important additional notes that I want to talk about that don't involve spoilering and going deeper into the movie. And then I'll just kind of Oscars March. We also talk about the other nominations these movies are up for, and then of course my just general final thoughts at the very end. So, alright, so I guess that's enough yapping. Let's go ahead and talk about Hamnet now, shall we? Alright. As soon as I load my shit over there, by the way. So, Hamnet released on November 26, 2025. It released on Thanksgiving. It is available currently on home video. The movie is written by Chole Zhao and Maggie O'Farrell. It is also directed by Chole Zhao as well. And the film stars Jesse Buckley, Paul Mescal, Joe Alwyn, Jacoby Jupe, and Noah Jupe. I have no idea if those two are related or not, but they do share the same last name. Alright, and for the story of Hamnet, this is a retelling and a reimagining of the family life of one William Shakespeare, along with his wife Agnes, as they deal with the sudden passing of their son and how it inspired the now legendary and timeless stage play that is Hamlet. So yeah, Hamlet with an L is the name of the play, but Hamnet with an N is the name of this movie here. So yeah, that's what this movie is about. So let's talk about some important notes. First of all, let's talk about our main character, our main vehicle for this movie. And no, it's not William Shakespeare. It's actually Agnes, the wife, played by Jesse Buckley. Agnes has a bit of a reputation of being a bit of a strange one and an outcast, which is this being a very ye olden times period piece ain't that difficult, to kind of be labeled as that. It stemmed from her mother, who was rumored to be a witch, And when Agnes was very young, her mother told Agnes to trust in her dreams. Also taught her about things, a lot of plant life, nature and things of that nature. Um, uh, yeah, so we told her to trust in her dreams. Agnes carried with her one specific dream she speaks of, and it is a dream where she saw herself on her deathbed looking up at two of her children. So from that point on, she kind of always lived her life believing that she would have two children, and then that's kind of how she would be. But of course, that was challenged when she had her and Will had their daughter, their eldest daughter first. She got pregnant again, in which she had a son. But surprisingly, it turned out that it was not the only child. As surprisingly, she actually had twins, and she actually had twins, and one was she had another girl. So surprisingly, she ended up with three children, which means that she also kind of feared what this would mean for her vision that she had. The fact that she now has a third child. So we can talk about Will for a little bit. Will is, of course, a writer. If you don't know, William Shakespeare, yes. He is a writer. And then after a moment of standing up to his father, not long after the birth of his first daughter, he goes through a bit of a spell where he kind of feels lost. Not lost, lost, L-O-S-T. And he feels a sense of disappointment, at himself. And it kind of, it kind of introduces some difficulties in the relationship. But when that happens, Agnes kind of comes to terms with him. Kind of believes he should go to London to try and a better opportunity for him to start a career with his writing. Maybe get into some theater and stuff like that. So she does see him off, and he does end up going off to London, where he kind of continues to build and hone his craft. So he kind of has a lot of spells where he comes home, but then he has to leave and head off to London quite a bit. Then we'll talk about the son. The son, he was named Hamnet, the same title as the movie. He ended up passing away due to the bubonic plague that ravaged Eastern Europe in that time frame. It's a story. It's a real thing. So that's how he ended up passing away. So that's about everything, the important stuff to remember for the movie. Let's go into some things I liked. And I will say, man, there is some superb acting in this. Top of the list is of course Jessie Buckley as Agnes. I get why she won what she won, the critical award for best actress. I get why she won it. She acted her ass off in this movie. I mean, like she had to drag out some real. She had to pull off some real emotionally raw moments in this movie, as well as a lot of physical stuff too. There was notably two scenes where of the childbirth, specifically the second one where she had the twins. The emotional acting, as well as the physicality, the physical acting in it as well, was also just like damn good shit from her in this movie. Also, the kid who played Hamnet was Jacoby Jupe. He was really good, and he was really good in this too. The clip that just played there was the scene where I was like, God damn, this kid is actually kind of good. Sometimes when you get a child actor, you can kind of tell that they're mostly just, it's gotten better. Child acting has really gotten better recently, but I feel like you can also kind of tell sometimes when the child actor is really just kind of trying to get through a scene. But no, goddamn, that kid was really, really damn good in this. It's not often I feel like a kid or a child performer can pull off some top performances, but he really stood out in this movie as well. Paul Minskell, who played Shakespeare, he was also really good in this for the most part. For the most part, I kind of felt like he was just kind of serviceable in the movie, but he was pretty interesting. He was pretty good. But he did have a moment towards the end, which I kind of felt like was his kind of big, like, you know, his kind of big. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's kind of like his big internal kind of like forgiveness moment, and that was really good on his end too. So again, the acting in this was just dope. It was really good. I guess also about Virtual, I have to give it to the directing too. It was directed by Chole Zhao. You may know her. She did for the more pop culture, the more casual moviegoer fans, she directed Marvel's Eternals, so you may know her from that. And then of course for any other kind of cinephiles, the other movies she was mostly known for, she directed Nomadland a couple years ago. But yeah, won her the Oscar for best director back then too. So she's up for it again this year. So I haven't really mentioned directing in any of the previous movies before. I'll get more deeper into it once I get to what I didn't like aspect of this movie. But for this one, I feel like I have to put it out because they really stuck out to me in this movie. Like it was really designed for. I feel it was really designed for that to be the thing to kind of carry everything in this movie was indeed the performances and the acting. And also, I got to give it props because there was legitimately a stage play that also happens right at the end of this movie too. So I feel like, oh, you directed the movie, but you also have to direct the stage play within the movie too. So I got to give props to that for having to direct a play within the movie that you are also directing. So I got to give props to that too. Yeah, but let's move into kind of what I didn't like in the movie. All right, so this is gonna be pretty nitpicky for me here, but a lot of this movie just generally isn't really my cup of tea. I mentioned it before, but it's a ye olden times period piece, you know, like an old London kind of period piece kind of stuff there. So it's like, you know, like the dialogue ain't really that interesting or really too like compelling to me, at least. You know, the production design wasn't really like that exciting. You know, it unfortunately didn't. You know, it's a period piece, but it unfortunately didn't have that extra glam and that extra flair that you get with like Frankenstein, that being a gothic horror period piece. So you can be a little bit more, you can add a lot more into the production and the costumes and shit to really make the look pop because it's more stylized. While this one is meant to be more of a dramatic and actual, you know, real redesign from things from that time, which I give props to that too. It's just, for me, it doesn't make it the most visually interesting thing there. Again, like the none of the music really kind of stuck out too much for me. Again, I'm also like, I don't really pay too much attention to the music, but when the music is like good, and I hear it and like it catches my ear, I will point it out. Like if it catches my attention, it will catch my attention. But if it doesn't, then it's like, okay, you know, it's just there, you know, to be there. So, you know, it's just one of those things. Again, like nothing really too bad about it. It is, again, this really isn't my kind of movie. That doesn't mean it isn't good. But I completely understand the nomination, because I feel like it definitely deserves that. But again, like I said, just, you know, just not really my cup of tea. Not really much for me in this. I will say. But hey, look at that. We got some filmmaker notes. I actually remembered I make movies for a little bit here. There is something I want to talk about here. Actually, I'm going to go back to the video because they actually talk about it in the previous one here. Hold At least like it was it was seemed like it was like the main thing and what they were talking about. In this part here. Oh great, fucking ads. Just so I can have that play because it seemed like they talk about it here. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So they kind of talk about it here. So I'm gonna just have it up here because they talk about it here. But in this, there are two shots that they have in this. There are two shots that they have. That happened in the movie. Is this shot here. It's the same shot. With the same setup, in the same location, with the same kind of blocking. But there's two different scenes that happen at two different points of time, and they are two very different kind of feels to the scene as well. So the first time we see this is right after I mentioned is right after Agnes kind of eggs Paul on to go to London so he can continue his work and that he can kind of grow. And right at that time too, she's also pregnant with the twins, but it turns out to be twins. He's a bit apprehensive to leave. He holds on to her, he hugs her very lovingly, they kiss, and shit like that. It's a very loving and warm scene. But you see, he kind of doesn't want to go, but she kind of pushes him and eggs him on to go. She's very receptive to it, and she kind of happily pushes him on to go again. She's sticking by her man. She wants him to follow his. She wants him to follow his dreams, and it's a very nice scene. But then the second time we come back to this scene, it's a whole different time. The second time we come to it is a bit after the death of Hamnet, of their son. And William has to go back to London for work. But of course now, because of that, the entire vibe and the entire feel of this shot in this scene is wholly different than the first time we see it. Agnes is very upset. She barely even looks William in the face. He tries to reach out and touch her and grab her. She's very she's not responding to it. She's very guarded. She's very angry. And I played a little part of it there. But it's like him holding her, and she's like actively fighting against him. And he's holding. The first time he was holding on to her because he didn't want to go. Now he's holding on to her because he doesn't want her to go. It's a very it's right. It's this part here. And she's aggressive. She's fighting him. It's completely different from the first time. Now it's like it's not happy. It's all grief. It's all anger. It's all rage. It's blame. It's depression. It's guilt. It's all this shit all in there, and it's all wrapped up in this scene. So I liked how that played out. The same shot, just now played off in two different times with two different feels. The one's a very happy, warming send-off, and the other one, very much is not that at all. So I had to point that out too. All right, next up, Oscars March. Let's talk about what the other awards has going for it as well. So, I don't know why I spaced on the name there. Hamnet is up for a total of 5 nominations. Of course, that also includes its Best Picture nomination. But the other nominations it is up for it is also up for Best Casting, Best Original Score, Best Directing, and Best Female Lead for Jessie Buckley. And I ain't gonna lie, I think she's gonna run away with this one. I think Jessie's gonna run away with that Oscar for Best Lead Actress. Chole Zhao also might be my top pick for directing as well. But those are the 5 nominations that Hamlet is up for at this year's Oscars. All right, and now for my final thoughts and my final score. As I mentioned, I even mentioned it when we talked about Begonia. I mentioned that I knew this one was going to be like the most drama of drama films, and it very much is. I've expressed my kind of thing with very heavy, serious dramas like this. We kind of got beef. We claim we don't fuck with one another. We don't really hang out together. You don't really see us in the same. You don't really see us in the same spots. You know, we don't really run in the same crowd. You know what I mean? We say we don't fuck with one another like that too much. But on the rare, but on the rare occasions we do end up linking up, or we do find ourselves crossing paths. We'll mess with each other a little bit. We'll click a little bit. We'll click a little bit, just a little bit. Now, while that may not be for me, this is very much a very well done movie. As I mentioned, the performances are the strongest aspects of this film for me. And I kind of thought like maybe kind of like I feel this is just a theory for me. Maybe the minimalist nature of the movie. It's kind of all is intentionally done to really make everything, really make the performances stand out. I said it once, I'll say it again. Jessie Buckley acted her ass off in this one. She had to she had to just drag out so much shit. From just like a lot of anger, a lot of sadness, a lot of depression, a lot of love, a lot of hope. She had to be, a great wife, a great mother, but she had to be a broken mother, witnessing, the death of her son right then and there. She had to be, a grief-stricken wife, bringing up the issues she has with her husband right after the passing of her son. But yeah, she did her damn thing in this movie and pulled it all out. Like I mentioned, both emotionally and physically. Just a lot she did in this goddamn movie. Also, I mentioned before, the kid, Jacoby, he was solid here too. Really good for a child actor. I didn't mention it. I've seen it in this little clip. I didn't mention it before, but also, Noah Jupe. He plays Hamlet in the stage play section we get in here. He was damn good too, just like as the stage play, which is weird. He's an actor doing a damn good job playing an actor. Acting, this is fucking weird, but he was. It really was pretty goddamn good. But Jacoby, very solid. Like I said, I feel like I don't give too much praise to child actors a lot. I felt like the last time I really did that was like season 1 of like freaking Stranger Things. But yeah, he was damn good too. He was great in this as well. Again, while I say like this isn't my typical movie, like I mentioned, I'm not really a heavy drama guy, especially a drama in like a period piece like this. But once we got together, once I watched it, I bought in. I enjoyed it. The moments that were supposed to hit, the moments that were emotionally impactful, emotionally impacted me. like the feels it wants you to feel, it definitely hit those with me. Again, like I said, just my cup of tea, but that doesn't mean it's a bad movie, and I can't really think of anything from a technical or filmmaker perspective that I can critically nitpick about this film. It's a great film. I understand the nominations. A lot of times in these movies, I feel like it's almost like an algorithm where it's like, okay, what are points we need to hit? The Oscar bait movies, like what are the points we need to hit so we can get the attention of the Academy? Can't say that about this movie. This movie clearly has a lot of thought, a lot of passion, and some great acting and some great fucking directing, and it shows. And I understand why it has the nomination, because it's actually a very well done damn movie. But anyway, that is my thoughts on Hamnet. If you've seen it, what did you think of the movie? Like I said, I got a perfect example I have is a clear difference. As I've been doing this, I've seen both this and One Battle After Another be determined as like modern day like masterpieces. Y'all know what I think about One Battle After Another. I've mentioned what I feel about that movie enough. This one I can see it. I can't really argue too much against it. If you feel that way. because it actually is a really well done and a really, really fucking good movie. But anyway, that was Hamnet. That is what I thought. What did you think of Hamnet if you've seen it? Where does it place amongst your best picture, amongst the other best picture contenders? You think it's taking home the award come Sunday? Let me know down below. All right, and with that, we are nearly freaking done with our Oscars March. Like I mentioned, we got one more movie to watch. We got Marty Supreme, which I mentioned. I think is a really good balance. I feel like that's a drama too, but I feel like that one's a lot more lighthearted. Probably going to be a lot more comedic moments in that one as opposed to this one. So a nice little balance there. Yeah, so I have to at this point. I gotta watch that tonight. So we're gonna start that. I'm gonna start that. Watch all of it, if not just the bulk of it, so I can write and record the impressions tomorrow, so I can have that one up by Saturday, and that way we'll be done before the Oscars come out. Also think maybe Sunday before the awards come on, I'm probably gonna do a little video where I'll go over the entire list of nominations and kind of see who's on the list, and just kind of give my general picks for who could take what in what category, including Best Picture. Even though I've kind of already spoiled what I think is still who's going to win that. It's Sinners. Sinners to my top pick. Even after we've gotten to the damn very end here, I don't think any movie has touched that for me so far. But I will say, if this wins it, I wouldn't have too much argument against that. It was this, and I forget what the other movie was. Train Dreams. It was like if it was Train Dreams or this, I'd be cool with that. Legitimately, there's just one movie. If that shit wins fucking Best Picture, we might have some problems. But anyway, that's it for me here today. If you're interested, check out some of the other videos on the channel. We talk about video games. We talk about TV as well. Of course, next week is News Drop Week, so we're going to be talking about movie news, which is, of course, if we're going to be talking about movie news, start of the week, we're going to be going over the Oscar winners because the video is going to drop the day after the Oscars airs. So we're going to talk about the Oscars winners. So make sure you subscribe and follow for that. We got TV news happening next Wednesday, and of course, video game news is going to drop next Friday. So make sure you're up on the know and all that. Check out some of the other I just watched that was on the channel as well. We've been watching a shit ton of TV. Maybe a little bit too much, you could argue. We watching a shit ton of TV. I got more shit I gotta watch too. Fucking Paradise Season 2 came out. I finally got into that. Netflix just dropped One Piece Season 2, so I gotta get into that. Fucking what comes out later this next month? And then fucking what? The Boys and Invincible drop next month. So yeah, it's a lot of shit to watch. So make sure you subscribe so you can check up on all that. But anyway, that's it for me today. Thank you all so much for watching. I very much do appreciate it. Until next time, everybody, always remember to stay watching, stay playing, stay awesome, and most importantly, please stay safe out there. Until next, everybody, I'll see you all next time. Deuces.